Hello, welcome pen friends. Welcome to day 7. Day 7 of 30 inks 30 days that I'm participating in Ink Journals Challenge. And also welcome to the 1-year anniversary of me doing these YouTube videos. I got that other video up, and thank you so much for all the kind comments that I've already seen and the content input. I really appreciate that. It really helps a lot going forward. So here we are on day 7, and I'm doing Robert Oster Cafe Crema. This is a cool ink. I love this. How this came about, I was looking for SBRE brown ink and I couldn't get it. And this was a recommendation from a pen friend that this would be very close, and it's true, it is, and we'll see that in a little while. Okay, on my little update here, I added a violet ink from a viewer, and I subtracted Diamine Arctic Blue because that was in one of our ink flights. So you got to be really careful when we get really excited about a color. Check and see what we have, or what I have. I'm speaking for myself here. Okay, so here we go. Started off in the Rhodia Gold Book ink journal as usual, and look at that shading. That's impressive. That's the kind of thing I really like. And of course it comes across differently in the pen, but I still see a lot of nice shading, and that's what I really like. And this is a really pleasing light brown, to me, light brown ink. It looks nice, and it's in that broad nib, and it's not a real expensive ink. It's $17 for 50 milliliters, at least here in the United States. I realize I'm talking to an audience that's getting all kinds of different pricing depending on where you are, but for us here that's not too bad. And then $1.50 for a 3 mil sample. That's at Anderson Pens, and it's available other places too. That's where I got this one. I ordered it because I was so bummed that I missed 2 rounds, I think, of getting that SBRE brown ink that I wanted. So let's get right into the journals here. This is the Cafe Note from Nanami Paper Company. I'm not really sure if I'm saying it right, but again, this is my journal where I'm keeping track of the intermittent fasting and low carb, and I just love how it writes. It kind of this was right after a new dip, so we're darker over here, and then it does lighten a little here, but I like that. Very pretty. Either way, darker or lighter, I like it. So doing good on all of this, working on very specific kind of fine-tuning on the amount of carbs and energy levels and what I'm eating. So there's that. And then over here, it's very, very typical on the other papers. We won't talk much about the UB notebook paper because that was a little disappointing, but I think I must have been going for finer nibs when I was using that notebook, and now I'm in this one, which is the Office Depot, and nothing has been bleeding through this so far that we've used except for the day 1, the permanent ink. So, but we all know those behave differently. So it was good on there and perfectly fine on Leuchtturm, which I really like because that's my bullet journal, and I like to choose a different color every week, and I like to make sure that whatever nib and color I choose will work in there. And then the CVS Caliber filler paper, that's really hardy. That it worked really well on there, and I think it looks nice too. You won't get the same shading as you will on Tomoe River paper, but and then here we are on the Rhodia dot grid, and that really worked out great too. So there's that. Now for the fun part, the part that I really like seeing is how it compares with other brown inks. So, well, we're brown and we're kind of veering over into orange too, which is no surprise from my end because I like the lighter browns. I don't like it to look black in my pen. Although there was one Kirshner dark chocolate that was just gorgeous, so I went out of my way to put it in a nib big enough so that I could actually, you know, see the shading and like enjoy it even though it was real dark. But so here it is, Robert Oster Cafe Crema. It moved quite a bit with water, so that was interesting. And then I put right beside it my favorite brown ink, which is SBRE brown, an ink made by Diamine and am I saying that right? Yeah, diamine, and bottled by Ackerman. So that's it. I was confused at first. I had thought it was made by Ackerman, but learned a lot about that. And then we get over into, this is Platinum Mix-Free Earth Brown, one of the samples I bought when I was trying to find, you know, wanting to get my hands on the SBRE Brown, and that was too light for me in a way. Look at that. I see pink. I don't know if you do. I see some pink, and I want to say orange, but not necessarily. It's really interesting what that ink did with the water. And then down here, Pelican Brown. I'm hoping you can see this all right. That was on the darker side, which I still like, and I'd have to experiment with it in a pen. And then this is another ink I really, really love. It surprised me. I thought, oh, that's too light for me. But that just shows you have to get it into a nib, of course. Diatramentis Cookie Scented. That came in one of the ink flights. That's a nice ink. And it does compare, but it is different. You can see that it is a little different. Kind of I would just say it like maybe a little brighter in some ways. And then I don't know why I threw this in here, maybe just for comparison, because it reminded me so much of these others, Diamine Autumn Oak, which I love. And see how that dried with those dark edges like that? I love that. Anywhere that I see that, I love it. And of course you get it quite often, but that's dramatic. That's really like a leaf. It's very well named, isn't it? Anyway, I know we're focusing on this one, but I love seeing the comparisons. And yeah, so that's interesting. In a little while I'll show you the rest of my browns while we're marinating that ink. But I just thought this would be cool to get a really good look at it. That's how I like seeing it. And of course, seeing it in my various notebooks too, because that provides a different, it just seems like everything provides a little bit of a different view of the ink, and that gives me a better idea what to expect. So, gosh, it looks like we're all ready to do the Duncan test. And then, of course, I've got stuff to talk about while that's happening. So here's the water. You know, after seeing how it reacted to the paintbrush on it, I don't think we're going to have any surprises on it, but you never know, so let's go for it. Oh, look at that color coming out. I see a lot of orange coming out. Okay, there it goes, and we'll let it do its thing kind of off to the side here. What I wanted to show you was, while we're waiting for that, is this is how I do it with these shell boxes. I've divided them out by color and labeled it up front brown, and then I've got them all in here except for the ones that I have a full bottle of, and in brown I just have a full bottle of SBRE Brown. I've got that one, and I've got another one called Canyon Rust, but Canyon Rust, it kind of veers out of brown almost into oh, I don't even know how to describe it. I'm stuck in my mind. It almost goes toward almost burgundy like rust color, which rust color has a lot of red in it. So these are just, okay, we looked at that one. We didn't look at Pelican. Yeah, we looked at Pelican Brown. Noodler's Golden Brown. So I just put these up in the top. It's real unscientific, but that way when I'm looking to see a brown, I just have to go to this case, and that's what, oh, there's that one I was talking about, Kirschner Dark Inks Dark Chocolate that my pen friend had sent me. That's an awesome brown. It's very dark, and at times it looks almost black, but it's nice. Papier Plume Caramel. So I've got quite a few, but I was sticking to those warm browns for today. But if we do another brown, there's a lot here to, oh, that's funny how my eyes are, because right now today I would put that in the red. I don't know what it's doing in here. And Karen Dash Organic Brown. So I went through an awful lot of samples, but I could never get what I wanted until I really got the SBRE Brown, and then the Robert Oster Cafe Crema is real pretty too. But I satisfied, I think, as long as that great big bottle lasts. So these are just some others that I have in the brown. Not including ink flights. They're separate right now because I'm looking at them separately. So probably I'll start merging ink flight browns and so forth into the respective shell box. It's a never-ending thing to organize, especially like I saw today, my new ink flight box is out for delivery. So it's not a one and done in this hobby. You got to keep up with the organizing. So there's that. And I see we're getting progress here. It's really disappearing. I think we'll find toward the end of the video that it's gone. But I did want to show you just one more thing, because I wore this in my 1 year video. This is my favorite piece of jewelry, and it's my one of my spirit animals, the owl, that I got. And this is actually, I've had a lot of compliments on it when I wore it different places, and people thought it was wooden and they wanted to touch it. But what it is it's actually, well, it's polymer clay. And I got it out at a place called the Blue Quail in Kingsville, Texas. It was a very special gift that my husband got for me. But I just thought I would show it because it kind of made me think of the crystal that I pulled today, which was the tiger's eye, a very unusual one that I had found. I happened to be in the store, in the crystal store, when, which is now closed. I'm so sad about that. It was called Metaphysical Conceptions here in Corpus Christi. And I was looking through them and I just wasn't finding what I wanted, but I didn't complain or anything. And she went to the back, Mary did, and she opened a brand new bag, dumped it in, and I found 3 immediately that I just couldn't, they hopped into my hand and I couldn't stand it. And this was one of them. I can't stop looking at this one. This was meant to come home with me. So if you ever are somewhere where you aren't finding what you want, you might ask them. I probably never would have asked her, but she just went anyway and got them. And I was real grateful to her for that. Okay, so let's look at this one more time, and then we'll talk about tomorrow's ink, and we're all done. Yep, that's gone. I mean, you know, pretty much that's gone. You can't read it, but that's typical, and that's what fountain pen ink is, water-based, and generally speaking, not permanent, but we do find, you know, exceptions. This isn't marketed as permanent. We're just doing this test just to be fair on all the inks to do it the same. Since I started that first day, I got myself into that. Okay, so tomorrow is KWZ Chiefs Red, and I have a ton of red because I have trouble with red. I have trouble finding just the right shade that I want to write with. I like this. This is, let's see if we're getting a mix of natural light today. It's a little better than yesterday. And this was sent to me by pen friend Banu. So you can look forward to that tomorrow. God willing, and the creek doesn't rise. Okay, 13 minutes. I gotta let you go. Okay, thank you very much for viewing, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye now.